Good evening. Hello, chaps. How the devil are you? Yes, it's the birthday live stream today. Oh, let me just get the that lighting sorted out a little bit. It's the birthday live stream today. It's not my birthday today, you understand. It's tomorrow is the big day. The 59th anniversary of my earthly debut, no less. But it just seemed too good an opportunity to not do the birthday live stream. I think last year, when was it? Was it last year? I can't remember. But there was one year when the live stream landed directly on my birthday, which was fun. So yes, thank you for all of the birthday wishes, and I'm going to break with tradition here by not starting out with a roll call. Well, kind of a roll call. I'm going to just read out all of the super chats that I've got. So we start with Terry S. Happy birthday, John. A little extra for the beer fund, $20 Canadian. Thank you so much. And then Mark Gowans, a little something for the celebration. Remember, age is only a number, and when you get to our age, most of us lie about it anyway. Yeah, the thing is, I was middle-aged by the time I was 19. Paul Trainer, a regular of the super chat tip jar, tipped me a fiver. Thank you so much, mate. Very, very generous of you. And Peter Williamson has dropped me a tenner. Thank you so much, mate. Much appreciated. And then Ian and Helen in Sheffield, Doc Alders and his good lady there, have sent me a tenner as well. Thank you so much to everyone who's contributed to my birthday celebrations, which is going to start now. Oh, dear me. Back on the green Carlsberg again this week. It was still on offer in Aldi. Anyway, let's have a little bit of a look and get back on the usual run of things with seeing who was first through the door. Amadeus this week with Grandpa Joe hot on his heels. Then Dave Fiendish, Terry Day. And who else have we got? We've got Theme Tunes and Rent to Kill. Francis Chambers, Paul Trainer. We already know he's there because he very kindly chucked some money in the tip jar. Then we've got Ingrid, Rubbish Guitar Bloke, PFY Guitars, Mark Kerno, Peter Collins, Ben Allmark is in, so is, Grandpa Joe again. I want to wish John a happy birthday and have an enjoyable beer drinking weekend. That pretty much sums up my plans, it has to be said. I've cleared the diary for tomorrow. I'm just going to, I don't know if we're going out somewhere or not, but even if it's just feet up, Netflix and beer, then that'll suit me pretty well, actually. Then we've got Autogeddon, and I think there's another super chat just dropped in there. Let's have a look. Yes, Mr. Chris, I didn't see you there, mate. Mr. Chris has dropped a couple of quid in, and so has Dr. Gomez. Thank you very much. Very, very generous of you. Every little helps, as they say. Now, where was I? Let's... Oh, I've lost my place in the chat. All the usual crew are here. Thank you so much, everyone, for turning up. I'm going to cut the roll call short there. Thank you so much, everybody. That's what you get when you kind of mess with tradition. You lose your place. And there's another super chat from Chris Ottawell Guitars, a fiver, and from Theme Tunes, a tenner. Thank you so much, mate. That's being very, very generous. It's not like it's an achievement, is it? You know, I've lived another year. You know, it's I suppose once you pass a certain threshold, then you can call that an achievement, can't you? Anyway, thank you everybody for your wonderful birthday wishes. Let's just have a quick look, see if there's anybody in I have missed here. Actually, I can see Steve Cassidy's in, Snackham. There's Johnny D, and Sargi is in, and Dave Balls, Les Hewitt. My knees hurt. Sometimes mine do as well, mate. Mainly it's my feet these days. I sound more like me dad every day. Hey, me feet are barking, he would say, and I know exactly what he means by now. Happy birthday, Mr. Robson, says Race Face Is that RaceFaceX 90? Thank you so much, mate. Jay Aoyong is in, and Mr. Chris, you're jumping the gun a little bit there, mate. Yes, that's next year. And who else have we got? Anyone else? There's Colin Falcon and El Duderino, Moon's Guitars, K1 China, Ron Wells, William Forrest, and I think that probably covers everybody. If I've missed you, it's not. And Steve Cassidy, thank you so much, mate. That's very, very generous of you. And Dave Fiendish as well. Thank you so much, mate. And Blue Sofa Songs. I'm blown away by your generosity. Let's just go back to here and see if there's anyone else I've missed. No, I think I've caught up with them all now. Right, how do I get this? Where is it? Where's it gone? Technology. I'm an old man. I can't get it off the screen. There we go. Oh, dear me. Oh, an embarrassment of riches. Thank you so much, one and all. Anyway, shall we talk about what's coming up on the channel this week? Might as well. Sunday's video is the full review of that rather delicious PRS that you may have seen me doing my first impressions of yesterday. And I've got to agree with a lot of the people who commented on that video that the guitar didn't cover itself in glory in terms of the sound that it created. You know, when I watched the video back, I thought, actually, yeah. But I can promise you Sunday's video is really well worth watching. It's, you know, I managed to... Because these first impressions videos are literally that, first impressions. You've got to find that sweet spot with the volume control and the tone controls and the pickup selector and how you have the bass, middle, treble, gain and everything set on your amp, or in my case the amp simulator pedal. Loving that Lion pedal. You know, and by Sunday's video I'd found the sweet spot, so I promise you it's blame that slightly questionable sound in yesterday's first impressions video on pilot error, nothing more, nothing less. So that's Sunday's video. Monday, I'm starting a new series of videos. Remember, the old Monday videos always used to be a solo analysis, but the copyright wombles just made that non-viable, basically. You know, they were just kind of waltzing in here and helping themselves to the contents of my wallet every time I made a video, so I had to knock those on the head. And then I went into like a generic sort of... It was started out supposing to be like a blues lead guitar one week, rock lead guitar the next week, and that's sort of run its course. So what we're doing as of Monday is a new series of videos. Lick of the week. Every week I'm going to show you one of my favourite licks and explain what's going on in it, and hopefully give you some ideas about how you can work it into your repertoire as well. And there's another super chat. Jay Aoyong, you say you don't travel much, but cheers on making another trip round the sun, John. Happy birthday. Thank you so much, mate. That is massively generous of you, and they keep coming. Here's Peter Collins with a £5. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. You are also damn generous at making me feel really rather humble. Anyway, where was I? Lick of the week, first in a new series. That's Monday's video. Then Tuesday, another top 5 video, and these are the top 5 bands and artists that I'm teaching to my young students. I teach people of all ages. I've got people who are only just into double digit in terms of the in terms of their age, and then all the way up to, you know, retired gentlemen. Raymondo, thank you so much, mate. Thank you. That's Happy Not Dead Yet Day. Thank you so much. Yeah, that pretty much sums it up, doesn't it? So what I'm talking about on Tuesday are the top 5 bands and artists that I'm teaching to the youngsters, what I suppose we're supposed to call Gen Z. I'm sorry, I just can't bring myself to say Z. When I first read about that 3-piece Texan blues rock band, when I first read about them in Kerrang or Sounds or whatever it was back in the 80s, and you know, I read their name, in my head I pronounced it ZZ Top, because that's how you pronounce it within these shows. So anyway, what I'm teaching the young'uns, that's Tuesday's video. Then Wednesday, it's a little bit of a kind of theory-based video, but hopefully nothing too dry and academic. We're basically talking about a particular songwriting technique, a way of putting chords together that you've heard in everything from Boulevard of Broken Dreams by Green Day to Run to You by Bryan Adams. Not a natural kind of overlap there, as you might think, but there is. They both those songs use a particular type of chord sequence, and we're going to be talking about it on Wednesday. Then on Thursday, a bit of a first for this channel. A bit of a first. You can go back through my entire archive of videos, and I know some people do, even back to the days when I had hair and when I had one less chin. But you will never, anywhere in that entire series of videos, find me playing a guitar with the dreaded Floyd Rose tremolo. It just hasn't happened until now. Okay, coming up on Thursday, you're going to see me play some rather delicious looking LTD with the Floyd Rose trem and everything. Doesn't belong to me, it belongs to a lady called Gloria, who I believe is in the chat under the moniker Strumming Ronin. And yes, it had been into the wonderful Agrajag workshop to get some of their fairy dust sprinkled on it. Just a basic sort of rejuvenate and setup and everything. And Gloria asked if I wanted to make a video with it, and I thought, well, yeah, Floyd Rose, okay, let's see if I can break that phobia. Let's see if I can breach that taboo, and I did. So there we go, that's what's coming up. PRS full review on Sunday, Lick of the Week on Monday, bands I'm teaching to the young'uns on Tuesday, a little minor key songwriting trick on Wednesday, and I'm breaking my Floyd Rose virginity as far as the channel's concerned on Thursday, and all good stuff. I think it's got to be better than what's on TV at the moment, isn't it? Mind you, in our house at the moment, the TV has been wall to wall with Winter Olympics. My wife's Canadian roots are, kind of asserting themselves, so it's been hockey, or ice hockey as we call it, pretty much wall to wall. It's on one of the Discovery streaming services that we've got, so I don't object. There's one TV show, honestly, that she watches, The Masked Singer. I despise every single thing about that show. The kind of pound shop Alan Partridge that presents it, right the way through to just the way, we're all musicians here, aren't we? And music is something a little bit special and magical, and the way that it sort of trivializes music into some Z-list celebrity wannabe guessing game. I have to plug my headphones in and just go to my happy place when that's on. So compared to that, I'll sit through a bit of ice hockey or curling. Chess on ice, curling. It's a brick and a brush. Come on. All that sort of stuff. I was born without the sport gene, it seems. I just can't muster the excitement that people seem to kind of have for, any sort of competitive activity. Rexamatic, sir, you are very, very generous. Thank you so much. Enjoy some of your great fish and chips. We're looking forward to returning to England and exploring the Lake District in September. You will not be disappointed by the Lake District, Rex. Speaking as someone who lived over there for nearly 5 years, it's a beautiful part of the world, and some wonderful scenery, some fantastic pubs, and some great beer. I can recommend Hartley's beer when you're in the Lake District. Hartley's XB, it is absolute nectar. Anyway, speaking of beer, right, I've been blethering on quite a bit there, so I'm just going to take a moment and have a little bit of a look in the chat and see what I've missed. El Duderino's saying, ooh, can't wait to see that LTD. Come to the dark side, JR. We'll see. Frank Bolam is in. Nice to see you, mate. Let's have a look. Malcolm Spillett, my wife still calls them ZZ Top. Yes, I sometimes do, just to kind of get a rise out of me missus. But even see, she's Canadian, and I think even in Canada they say Z rather than Z. Steve Cassidy, I only teach 100% Taylor Swift these days. Oh dearie me, life could get tedious doing that, couldn't it? I see work session guitar legend Gary Shaw in with us. He's saying, hot mic, do I need to move it a little bit further away, mate? Is it clipping a little bit? Mic is a bit distorted, right, so I'm going to lean back. Let me know in the chat if that's any better. It sometimes does do that, and there's a little, I can't show you because it's on this side and I can't turn the mic round, but there's a little kind of volume control, like gain control on the mic, and I never change that, but sometimes it does, kind of clip a little bit. I don't know why. Maybe it's my missus used to work in IT, and she used to refer to something as error between chair and keyboard. Maybe it's that. What else have I missed out? Let's have a wee look. Anything else? I know I'm seeing a lot of conversations going on between people in the chat. I love that. I love that this is not just me talking to you, and I love the fact that there's an entire community going on in the chat. It's fantastic. There's Peter S. 4244. Nice to see you, mate. Mr. Chris is saying he loves his gem with the Floyd Rose. And where are we? Have you got anything planned for your big day tomorrow? John says, Rent to Kill. Yes, the best birthday present I'm ever likely to get, or the best kind of gift I'm ever likely to get, a day off. A day when I don't have to come into this room and turn the PC on and, and start thinking about, right, I've got to do a kind of bullet point list for that video. I've got to get that solo tabbed out. I need to record this. I need to get that. There's a deadline for this because that needs to go up then. And, I've got a lesson booked in an hour's time, so I need to get all this done and dusted before. I don't have to do any of that. I just have to sit back, and I've got to nip out and run a few errands in the morning and walk the dog. And I may even just by lunchtime be in my what is euphemistically called stay-at-home leisure wear these days, pajamas. Basically, I might even be in those by lunchtime. We shall see. Anyway, anything else that I've missed? Peter Hall saying it's been constant Winter Olympics here. Dutch in their speed skating. Did you see that one where there was the dog chasing those skiers down the I don't know what kind of skiing it was. It was downhill, which is there such a thing as uphill skiing? But it was some kind of downhill, kind of sliding down a hill with full of snow with planks on your feet. Basically, it shows my level of understanding, really, doesn't it? But that dog that was chasing them down somehow got onto there. It was epic. Let's have a look. Rent to Kill saying, I was stuck in the hospital, 4-hour wait, and I had to watch it. I'm lucky I still had a pulse afterwards. Are you talking about the Winter Olympics, or are you talking about the torture that is The Masked Singer? Jimmy James says, Canada says Z, but it's still ZZ Top. Malcolm Spillett, The Masked Singer is one of my 10-year-old autistic granddaughter's favourite shows. Says it all, really. Yeah. I mean, it's the sort of thing that it would have been, if anyone's old enough to remember a show called Cheggers Plays Pop. You've got to be from Britain and you've got to be of a certain vintage to play that. Basically a pop music themed game show quiz kind of thing aimed at kind of elementary school, primary school children. Basically, it was on like about 4 p.m. on a weekday afternoon, and it's it would have been around on that show in the 70s or 80s, but now they've made it into, just a, and they always take the mask off, and you think, well, who's that? I've never heard of that person, El Duderino is saying Floyd Rose is actually a really good and stable design if you set it up properly. There are the people who love them, and that's what they always say. Maybe this last one, spoiler alert, the LTD that's going to be put under the microscope later on, in next week's videos, that was set up beautifully by James at Agrajag, but that's the first Floyd Rose style trem that I've ever had that I can say that about. Dr. Gomez, yes, I remember that about Keith Chegwin as well. Let's have a look. I'm just checking that any more super chats. No, that's it, because I don't want to, kind of ghost you if Tom Clark's saying take it off. Peter Hall, I was a runaround child in the 70s. Remember that? Oh, I do. Mike Reed. That was. I'm surprised they don't bring that back as an adult-themed show now. Not adult-themed as in, that kind of adult-themed, but, a kind of family entertainment show. Theme tunes. I've got a viewer's tale about Cheggers. Must remember to send it in. Austin Barrett, Cheggers sat next to me at school. Yes. Cheggers, by the way, was a British kids TV presenter called Keith Chegwin, who passed away a few years ago, I believe. Yes, Cheggers was Noel Edmonds' mate, Mr. Chris. Anyway, where are we? I think it's about time to take a little bit of a look at what happened on this day in music. So let's have a look. On this day 2014, the British phonographic industry reported that digital revenues now accounted for 50% of the total UK record industry income. Digital album sales and a surge in streaming had boosted total digital revenue in 2013 to 365 million, up from 326 million in 2012. Streaming revenue increased by 41%, bringing total UK revenue to 730.4 million, the first growth since 2009. On this day in 2008, a 1976 Rolling Stones album bought for £2 at a car boot sale sold for £4,000 at an auction. The Black and Blue LP was signed by John Lennon, Yoko Ono, Paul and Linda McCartney and George Harrison, as well as members of the Rolling Stones. The seller obtained the album after haggling the cost down from £3. Indeed. Where are we? No, that one's about Take That. We're not interested in that. That one's about Britney Spears. But this one is about Brian Wilson, who on this day in 2004 kicked off an 11-date UK tour at London's Royal Festival Hall. The shows saw Wilson performing the full suite of songs from his unreleased masterpiece, Smile, Wilson's Teenage Symphony to God. Let's have a little bit of a look further down. On this day in 1991, Bob Dylan was awarded a Lifetime Achievement Award at the 33rd Annual Grammy Awards. A starstruck Jack Nicholson introduced the purple-suited fedora Dylan, who said, it's possible to become so defiled in this world that your own mother and father will abandon you. If that happens, God will always believe in your own ability to mend your own ways. Yeah, that's the sort of thing he'd say, isn't it? On this day in 1976, all four members of Kiss had their footprints implanted on the pavement outside Grauman's Chinese Theatre in Hollywood. This day in 1972, Chicory Tip were at number 1 in the UK singles chart with Son of My Father. Written by Giorgio Moroder, it was the first number 1 single to prominently feature a synthesizer, in this case the Moog synthesizer. And let's see who was born on this day in music history. Let's have a wee look. Okay, so Kurt Cobain was born on this day in 1967, and so was Ian Brown of the Stone Roses, born this day 1963. Who else have we got? Randy California, born this day in 1951, and on this day in 1950, that saw the earthly debut of Walter Becker, and 4 years earlier, 1946, the world was introduced to Jay Giles. And one last one, on this day in 1945, Alan Hull, guitarist, singer, songwriter with the English group Lindisfarne, who had the 70s hit singles Meet Me on the Corner, Lady Eleanor and Run for Home. Their album Fog on the Time became the biggest selling UK album in 1972. Hull also worked as a solo artist. He died of a heart attack on the 17th of November 1996. So that's just a little roundup of what happened on this day in music, who was born and who achieved things and whatever. Anyway, I'm lagging behind, everyone. I'm just going to finish this off and recharge my flagon. And then, I think, yes, we're getting to about that sort of time. We'll have a little bit of a look at some guitar pictures, and there's a bit of a surprise in there this week, as you will see. I'm going to show you something that you don't. I'm going to show you mine. You show me yours. I'm going to show you mine. In a metaphorical sense, a view of this room that you very rarely see, but we'll see what that's like just as soon as I navigate to the relevant folder. Right, so I need an Explorer window open, and then into there, and then into there, and viewers guitar picks. Here we go. Right, so mine is buried somewhere in the middle, so we'll kind of have a look and see which one's first. Come on, open the file. Good computer. Right, so share screen, that's what I need to do, isn't it? There we go. Oh, what? It's blocking me sharing the screen for some reason. Let's share this. Let's try that again. There we go. Yes. So, vying for John North's title of most number of pictures sent to me in one big lump is Carl Roberts. We've seen a few of his in previous weeks, and this is his 2003 Korean Epiphone Les Paul Studio. I do like that colour. Is that sort of is that like a, it doesn't quite look like a gold top, but it looks like a close relation of it. I'm wondering if that's just the lighting. Lovely looking guitar. Then this is Derek Stopperton's Crafter acoustic guitar, or more accurately, it's a young relative of his. It's their first guitar. This Crafter electroacoustic. My nephew Rocco Ruberto starter guitar, lucky lad, age 12. That's going to get him off to a good start. As I said in the email reply that I sent to Derek, it's certainly a step up from the K steel string student folk acoustic that I started on. Real finger shredder that was. Then this is a lovely late 50s Guild belonging to Mr. Gary Shaw. Yes, you just know that when you plug that in, you've got to start playing diminished chords and whole tone scales, haven't you? And I bet it sounds like warm honey. What a beautiful looking instrument. Then I do say anything that you use to make music with, send in a picture, and this is a set of Positive Grid guitar headphones belonging to Mr. Chris, or as I can call him up here, Mr. Chris's ear goggles. And there is, he's obviously a fan of the Positive Grid thing here. So that's the Positive Grid Steve Vai Mandela 10 watt amplifier. Nice one. Another one from Mr. Chris. This looks like, is this some kind of mandolin? I believe some of these are no longer at Mr. Chris's residence. He did send me a big load of pictures called ex-wives, and I think this might be one of them. Then here we go. This is the view of this room that you never usually see. This is the laptop that I'm talking to you on right now, with the webcam there that I'm speaking into. There's the £40 Amazon USB mic that you're currently hearing me through. A set of PreSonus monitors. There's the UAFX Lion pedal, just kind of lurking out of shot there. And then over here is my Behringer interface. Just thought I'd give you that little view that you very rarely see of this room here. So there you go. Now we have some of Pete's guitars, and I've got to tell you, Pete, that is a lovely looking room. Looks really really cosy. So what have we got here? Pete, by the way, is a very talented chap who drew that caricature of me that you see in all of the video thumbnails. So we've got, that's an Epiphone 335. Not sure what that is. It's kind of got a casino vibe about it, but it's not got the trapeze. Oh, has it got the trapeze tailpiece? Yes, it has. So that's obviously a casino. That just fooled me there. It looked a little bit like a stop bar. So that's probably a casino. What have we got here? What's the brand name on this? An artist. Pete does like his artist guitars. And then what have we got over here? Another Epiphone. Possibly another casino. I apologise if I've got some of those wrong, but some lovely looking instruments, and there's that lovely Burns in the background there as well. Then what have we got here? This is just some of Mr. Rexomatic's guitars. Yes, Rickenbacker, Telecaster, Les Paul, Hills, SG. Is that an SG with P90s? I believe it is. G&L. Gretsch, what is that? Is that I don't know what that is. It's on the tip of my tongue. It looks like one of those airline guitars or whatever they were called. We've got a thin line telly back here, and this one I know what it is, but I can't quite recall. And the Harley Benton CST 24, lovely little collection of instruments there you've got, mate, and that's not half of it. Then this is Vincent Brennan's Lesocaster, and there's a little bit of a story to this one, so let's read it. Edwards Guitars is a subsidiary of ESP Guitars. This is an artist model designed in collaboration with Inoran of Lunar Sea. This is a Stratocaster in the body of a Les Paul. Black red burst finish on the maple body with a slightly carved top, bolt-on maple neck and rosewood fretboard. 9.5 inch radius, 22 frets and 628mm scale length. Weighs 3.5 kilos, open book headstock and block inlays. Gives the real Gibson aesthetic, while the Triple S pickup configuration gives a true Stratocaster tonal range. 5-way pickup selector with 2 tone knobs and 1 master volume. A specific now out of production signature electric guitar model for Inoran of the Japanese rock band Lunar Sea. Can't say I've ever heard of them, but yes, that's it kind of it looks so normal but so kind of unusual at the same time, doesn't it? Anyway, there you go, chaps. That is this week's selection of bathing beauties. I'm just going to take a little bit of lubricant on board, and then we'll get back to the chat. Oh yes, let's just treat myself with one of these. It's better. Anyway, Budget Pedal chap is in. Nice to see you, mate. And thank you for the birthday wishes. And what else have I missed? Dave Fiendish. John, as I said in Mr. Cassidy's live stream last night, his and your live are the perfect pub because of the great gang I'm proud to be a part of. That is a lovely thing to say, mate. Thank you so much. That is the reason I started this live stream during the period of lockdown, and I shall not kind of comment any more on that because I don't want to get into trouble. Yes, anyway, but when they shut the pubs, I mean, that was just, I thought, well, that's cruel and unusual, so I set this up as just a little alternative to going to the pub after work on a Friday, which is something of a British tradition. we have this saying over here, I don't know if this is a universal and international thing, but Friday is known as Poets' Day across much of the British Isles. Why is it called Poets' Day? Because it's off early, and I'll clean it up. It's push off early, tomorrow's Saturday. There we go. I just seen another super chat drop in. A couple more super chats. Mark Gowans is saying it was Tony Iommi's birthday yesterday. Nice one, I didn't know I was so close to him. And Jeff Rock is saying, happy birthday for tomorrow, John. It's my 60th today. Well, happy birthday back to you, mate. I'm spending the weekend in a pub in the Hawes in Hawes in the Dales. A tough task, but I'll battle on. That's a lovely part of the world, that, mate. Not too far away from me, as it happens. The Yorkshire Dales. That's, people tend to think of this part of the world, Teesside, as being, all kind of grim and grimy and, kind of industrial kind of wasteland, now that all of the shipyards and the steel works and everything are gone. But you are literally, half an hour away from some of the most beautiful countryside in the world. Anybody that's ever kind of seen All Creatures Great and Small or encountered any of the James Herriot stuff, that's pretty much on our doorstep right here. And Hawes is kind of right in the heart of it. So yeah, a day in a pub in the lovely British countryside, and in this kind of weather, I'll bet there'll be a roaring log fire and a leather armchair to sink into, where you just... oh, that's heaven. Yeah, that's heaven. A good book or a big newspaper to wade through and do the crossword while you're just kind of putting the beers away. Yes, I love that kind of day. Have a good one, mate. Anyway, I've completely lost my train of thought. Anyway, let's get back to the chat. Who was that there? Just said hello, everyone. Again, the chat keeps jumping just as I see things. And, it's Mark Fye. Hello everyone, late to the party, hope you're all well. Bought myself a Yamaha Revstar standard in black with P90s yesterday, just got to set it up to my standard now. Sounds nice. Yes, that was one of the nicer guitars. That it's a guitar that I thought maybe I should have kept that one, my Yamaha Revstar. I only had the entry level one, the RSE, the Element, but it felt absolutely beautiful. Lovely guitar. I keep thinking about maybe I should get a new one, but another one. But we'll park that for the moment. As you can tell, I'm not wearing a fleece in here today because our knackered heating system has finally been fixed, and it didn't come cheap. So just a heads up, you're going to be seeing a lot of videos on the channel where it's, let's take another look at this guitar, it's been a while, let's kind of revisit this one. Basically when I'm kind of revisiting old stock, because getting the central heating fixed did sort of deplete the guitar fund a little bit, well, pretty much entirely really. Silent Hybrid sing, I hate it when people say they cannot sing. The worst voice of all was Frank Sinatra, but a great singer. I learned to use cassettes of David Cassidy. It's about practice. I hate to tell you, mate, but I can't sing. I really can't. The problem that I have with singing, right, is I can hear the note in my head that I want to hit, but predictably making that note come out of my mouth, that's an entirely different matter. I cannot do that. I can't, not reliably so. And I did have a few singing lessons, and when I explained this problem to the singing teacher, she just kind of looked at me as though I'd grown a second head, as though that's weird. But that is the issue I have. Every single band I've ever been in, you know, it takes a little while to get up to the kind of gig, to get a gig ready. You know, you rehearse for a little while, and you know, on more than one occasion, it's been said to me, "Can we get a few backing vocals off you this week, John? You know, let's you know, yep, I'll have a go." Yep, don't mind having a go. Next week, next rehearsal, never a mic set up for me, okay? So, I really cannot sing. I've, you know, when I've even, defeated a singing teacher, then I think it's probably time to admit that, yeah, maybe my talents lie elsewhere. Malcolm Spillett is saying, the head of music in a school I worked in claimed that anyone can learn to sing. They'd never met me, mate. They'd never met me. Let's have a wee look, see what else I've missed, and then we'll go to a viewer's tale in a little while. Vincent Brennan, got a copy of Open Ears, A Journey Through Life with Guitar in Handbook by Steve Morse. Looks interesting. Yeah, okay. My problem with literature and books is I just don't get the time to read them. What I'm doing at the moment is, because I love a good book, is anytime I leave the house to walk the dog, to walk to the shops, or to just kind of run errands, I have Audible on my phone and I plug in and I kind of listen to books like that. But in terms of sitting down and actually reading a book, it's just, I can get like 5 minutes here or 5 minutes there, and you can't really, well, I can't anyway, get into a narrative in little installments like that. I need to be able to sit down for an hour and read. But for some reason, doing kind of half an hour on the way to the shops and back, listening, I can enjoy a book like that. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. Well, not right at this moment anyway. Because right at this moment I'm drinking beer and talking to you lads. Jay How Young is saying, maybe you can try singing death metal. I don't think so, mate. I don't think so. Cylon Hybrid is saying, if anyone says I cannot play the guitar, you all say practice and learn. Maybe there is a skill that I could practice to make the note that's in here come out here. But when even a professional singing teacher of many years standing looked at me like I was odd for saying that was the problem that I had, it's something that they'd never encountered, so I don't know. And I'll be honest with you, it's not something that's massively important to me. I mean, as I've recounted the tale many times, my introduction to music beyond sort of nursery rhymes and stuff when I was a young toddler was Apache by the Shadows, guitar instrumental. And I love instrumental music. I do appreciate a good vocalist, but I suppose my heart is always in instrumental music, and I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything if there's no vocals on a track, is what I'm saying. Jay How Young is saying, I can sing the notes, but the timbre of my voice is not pleasing to most ears, unfortunately. Rent-to-Kill saying, it's worse when I come back from taking the dog for a walk and my mum starts singing The Dog Gets an Extra Walk. Yes. What else have we got? I wish I could find time to practice, never mind read, says Malcolm Spillett. Indeed. That's the other myth about, people like me who make a living out of playing the guitar. That I don't know if Gary Shaw can back this up, because he earns a living from the guitar, but in a different way to me. You're so busy with projects, professional projects that you have to kind of get done by a certain date, that you don't get hardly any time for what would call professional development, to sit and practice. I did a video, gosh, it's got to be over a year ago now, where I diagnosed the problem of why I can't pick fast. Okay, I know exactly what the problem is, but have I had the time to fix it? No, I haven't. I just haven't, because there's always something that needs doing, and there's a date that it needs doing by, because if I don't get it done by that date, I'm going to fall behind. When I first started doing like these 5 videos a week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, and a live stream, I was I realised that I was able to do a video and a bit, like all of one video and a bit of another one in a day. So, every day you're doing one and a bit videos, and then on the day you're down, you can do one and a bit. When there's no video going out, you do one and a bit videos. So you start getting ahead. I'm currently about 5 weeks ahead in terms of like the videos I've recorded this week will be going out in about 5 weeks' time on YouTube. And I don't want to get to the point where I'm scrabbling around. I've got to get a video out for tomorrow, so I like to keep that lead time in there. And then I've got to take a week off in the summer, probably in August time, for little projects that I need to get sorted out that aren't guitar related. I do that every year, and that needs to be covered as well. So finding the time to practice is nigh on impossible for me. Anyway, shall we have a viewer's tale? I think we should. Let me go and find one. I want to say a massive thank you to, I put out a plea a couple of weeks ago for viewers' tales because we'd run out. Now I've got an embarrassment of riches, and this one comes from a chap called Wayne, and I'll read it out. It says, "Hi John, my screen name is Maidenman74. A buddy and me were huge Def Leppard fans. We got 2 tickets to see Phil Collen, EN, not Phil Collins. That becomes relevant later on. Guitarist from said band, side punk project, Man Rays, first ever gig at the Spitz. Small, mainly press, and just a few fans. We entered the small hall to be checked in at the desk by Phil himself. A little quite majorly starstruck, we passed him our tickets. He said quite enthusiastically, 'You're not press, are you?' I calmly responded, or gibberish to that effect. To our amazement, he stood up and asked, 'Stuff this, want a pint?' and led us over to the small bar. 'What you having?' He's a Cockney. This is my embarrassing clever dick moment when number 1 happened. Fairly recently, the biopic Hysteria, the Def Leppard story, had been released. In the movie, when asked by Joe Elliott what Phil wanted to drink to celebrate joining the new band, Phil replied, 'A pint of champagne.' Yes, you guessed it, I said it. He just jokingly but disgustedly side-eyed me and my friend with a red face and ordered us a beer each. Phil was an absolute gent and really nice bloke, and we chatted for about 15 minutes when he had to leave us to go on stage. And then came the oh my god moment number 2. I asked him, 'Are you nervous?' He replied, 'Not really, mate. We played to 1.2 million people at Live 8 in Philadelphia last week.' The way I write it seems boasty, but he wasn't really like that. I then said, 'But this is your first gig with a new band.' We could genuinely see the blood drain from his face. Oh yeah. Foot and mouth sprung to mind again. It was a great gig, and he asked us again to join us for about an hour after the gig. He autographed my broken arm cast. They say never meet your heroes, but Phil was genuinely a really decent bloke. A week later, when having my cast removed at the hospital, I asked the nurse, 'Please cut around the autograph.' As I said, 'It's Phil Collins.' I then had a group of nurses asking me, 'What is Phil Collins like?' I couldn't let them down, so I played along that I'd met Phil Collins, the drummer. Thanks, Wayne." That's a lovely story, Wayne. Yeah. I'm not the world's biggest Def Leppard fan, it has to be said, but, it's reassuring to know that a guy who can play to 1 million plus people at a big sort of worldwide broadcast festival. I remember Live 8. When was that? Was that 2005 or thereabouts? It was was it 2005 or 2015? I can't remember, but it was like the sort of Live Aid sort of reboot, wasn't it? And if you've played to those kind of crowds, that you can imagine how somebody would be a little bit, the big I am, but it really seems like he wasn't. Lone Groove is saying 2005, yes. let's have a look. What have I missed in the chat? J. How Young is saying, great band, Def Leppard. They're one of those bands, and I don't know if anyone else can tell a similar tale, where they tick all the right boxes, and yet they don't get the kind give me the tingles. That's all I can say. I don't dislike their music. It's good guitar theme, good kind of guitar rock music, and Phil Collin is an absolute monster of a player. So was Steve Clark, who sadly passed away. Ooh, dear me, that was in the 90s, wasn't it? And Viv Campbell's with them now, isn't he? He was like the permanent replacement for Steve Clark. It's a bit like Joe Bonamassa, ticks all the boxes for me, but yet, no matter how much I try, I just can't quite get there and fall in love with the music. I don't know what that is. It's just one of those things that you can't choose what you like and what you don't like. Let's have a look. Let's have a wee look. What we've been talking about while I've been blethering. Cylon Hybrid is saying, when you have proper singing lessons, it becomes obvious not sound of your voice, it's about notes you hit. That's why we learn different keys. Yeah, I mean, the piano teacher, the singing teacher had a piano there, and she would play a note and say, sing that note, and sometimes I could, sometimes I couldn't, and there was no way that I could predict whether it was something that I could do. Let's have a look. Mark Fye is saying, happy birthday, John, have a great day. By the way, the countryside around Teesside is beautiful. It genuinely is, mate. I mean, my mother-in-law and brother-in-law, because it's a long story. My wife's Canadian, but her parents are from the UK. And when they retired back over here, and she followed them a few years later, met me, and the rest is history, as they say. But my wife's mother and her brother live in a little market town 20 minutes away from here called Gisborough, and it is just beautiful. It's your typical old world rural English market town with a cobbled high street and just the beautiful old architecture and everything, and it's gorgeous. And there are parts of Redcar that are like that, the promenade, the seafront and everything. It's you can easily imagine Victorian ladies and gentlemen walking up and down in front of up the seafront, kind of having an ice cream, and I always picture them with a little kind of one of those, was it a Bichon Frise dog or something like that, on a lead, and the gents in the top hats with the kind of mutton chops and everything. It's that kind of feel to it. It is a little bit down at heel, but lots of places are. Les Hewitt is saying, lots of pubs in Gisborough. Yes, the Anchor, that was always my favourite watering hole in Gisborough, it has to be said. Sam Smith House, good beer. Anyway, isn't it strange how whenever I'm talking about beer, it's time to fill up another one? I don't think I'll get all the way through this before the end of the stream, but we'll give it a good old college try. There we go. See, that's the other thing. I rarely get hangovers. Hangovers used to, basically the common denominator in every hangover I've had has been wine, so I don't touch the filthy stuff anymore. But occasionally I do feel it. Well, not so much a hangover, but when you've had a heavy night the night before and you can't get the bed off your back the next morning. That's as bad as it gets for me. But I don't have to worry because I've got a day off tomorrow. Because it's my birthday. There we go. Anyway, down in one, says Dr. Gomez. Those days are well behind me now. That's what happens when you get old. Who's this? Buckingham Bard. Howdy, buckaroos. Here's to another trip around the sun. Thank you, mate. Much appreciated. Anton, nice to see you. I didn't see you sneak in there, mate. I'm generally not keen on over-processed music, but I love Def Leppard's Hysteria album. It's, it of its type, that kind of, let's kind of call it that sort of very commercial 80s rock. It is one of the albums that kind of typifies that genre, isn't it? We didn't think of it as very kind of 80s sounding, and we just thought it's a rock band. That's what all rock bands sound like. And then you go back and listen to something by AC/DC or Bad Company from 10 years earlier, you think, okay, yeah, so it's isn't that the album that was recorded where all the guitar parts were recorded using the Rockman? I think I read that somewhere. I think I might even have mentioned it when I was doing the research for the Rockman pedal that I reviewed a little while ago. Oh, a couple more super chats. What have we got? Muleman 72. Thank you so much, mate. That's very, very generous of you. And my mate Anton, a £5 in the tip jar. I think just kind of mentally totting up what you've chucked in the birthday fund. I think you paid for me and Mrs. Robson's curry tomorrow night, because that's what we're having. Not homemade curry. We're pushing the boat out, and we're going to ordering from Bengal Spice, and there's nothing like hello, and we're back in focus. There's nothing quite like a proper curry house curry, is there? And the naan bread as well. Oh yes, I'm getting excited about it already. And Anton has just reminded me to remind you, don't forget to check out Steve Cassidy's video right after the live stream, and he's even helpfully put the link in there. So yes, I'm going to go and do dinner. We're having chicken fajitas tonight. That's become a regular thing on a Friday. So I've got to go and sort those out, so I'll not be able to watch the video as it goes out, but I shall watch it later, especially if Mrs. Robson is kind of indulging in some kind of basically some variation of people sliding down a snowy hill for some reason. Thank you so much. You are massively generous, Mark Card. That is utter, I tip my hat to you, sir. Thank you so much. That is beyond the call of duty in terms of generous. Thank you so much. Muleman saying, is she back on the curry, John? Well, there was never a problem with Bengal spice curry. It was just she started having a little bit of a bad reaction to my curry. So we've given it a while, and I'm going to if next time I do a big batch cook, when there's room in the freezer, I'm going to do a batch of curry and see how we get on. And if she still can't do it, then it just means I've got a lot of curry to eat for myself. Oh, the hardship. Let's have a wee look. Rexomatic is saying, for my Red Carmageddon fans and Garage Punk fans, one of my bandmates released a new single with his band Hot Pennies. Probably worth checking out. Well, very definitely worth checking out. If Rex endorses it, then we're going to trust his word on that. Angel Martinez is saying, how are you, John? Greetings from New York. I'm doing absolutely fine, thank you very much, mate. I'm looking forward to a night with my feet up and several more beers, and just chilling out all day tomorrow. And with that, chaps, we are 59 minutes plus change into proceedings. So by the time I do my closing spiel, that'll be about time to wrap up. Thank you once again for turning up and watching a fat, bald northern lad talk absolute bollocks for an hour. It's been a blast, and I'll keep on doing it till you're sick of me. And thank you so much for all of the super chats and birthday wishes and everything. I've got the best audience on YouTube, and I'll see you all again same time next week. Look after yourselves, folks. Stay well, stay safe, and above all, stay sane. Bye for now.